Hello and welcome to another episode of Rise and Thrive Mornings with Intention. I'm super excited to be here with you today, and I have a special guest with me, Cathy Derksen, and she'll be dazzling us with her beautiful wisdom and knowledge. So, welcome, Cathy.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Thank you so much, Cathy. And Cathy, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? And then after that, tell us what inspired you to write for the Ripple Effect of Impact, please.
Perfect. Well, a little bit about me. I could go in many directions. I'll start just with my business is called Inspired Tenacity. My big focus is really on helping women to see that we're surrounded by opportunities and possibilities, and especially what I call midlife women that often get to the finish, their career is ending or they're feeling frustrated with it and just not knowing what to do next in their life. And so that's kind of the community that I work with and serve. But the main way that I do that right now, helping women to see the opportunities and possibilities available to them, is through creating multi-author book projects. So that anthology, letting them step into becoming an author, sharing their journey. And I find it often opens doors to what's next. So that's kind of a quick overview of me.
That's awesome. And what inspired you to go into the ripple effect?
Well, as you know, I am the curator of the book, and you know also that you inspired the theme that we're working on. You brought the idea to me and suggested that we create a book on that theme, and thank you for doing that. And it has definitely been a very popular theme, and I think the stories that we've brought together are an amazing collection of what people are doing in their life, what's inspired them to make changes, how are they really impacting the people around them. So yes, I love doing these book projects, and I love coming, working on different themes that really allow people to share their story from a different perspective.
Yes, exactly. And I was so thrilled and excited to when we started talking about it. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I love the title we came up with, and or maybe you, I'm not sure who came up with it, but it is a great
It
title.
was in
And
discussion.
yeah, and I love it. And by the way, the book is releasing August 20th, so stay tuned for more information coming on that amazing book. And I can't wait to read the stories in it. So I'm super excited for it. So Cathy, tell us, what is the core message you hope readers take away from contribution of your chapter in that book?
Well, one of the big focuses of my chapter in that book is really hoping that people will stop and think about the impact that they're having in the world and how could they create an impact that's actually bigger than what they envision. And part of that too is actually getting people to stop and realize that what they are doing, whether it's positive, negative, intentional, by accident, that there is a ripple effect of everything we do, and it goes far beyond what we will ever see. So even that, smiling at a stranger as they walk by seems so simple, but that could change that person's entire day. That could then change their family's life. That could change it. Like, we don't even know what the bigger impact is of little things that we do. And so for those of us that actually are working in businesses where we are creating activities that help people to step into new opportunities or to do things that are helping other people, we are creating massive impact far beyond what we'll ever know ourselves.
Wow, that is so true. And it's funny you mentioned some of the words. I use the same in part of my chapter too, like just a smile and things like that. I mean, even the other things we do, they all have a ripple effect in some way, right? So
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can't wait to read your chapter and everybody else's in that book. So how has writing for this book impacted you personally and professionally?
Hmm. Well, I guess in my case, it's in a lot more different ways than most other of the authors in the book. So of course, with writing the chapter, and I find that every time I write a chapter in a different book with a different theme, it just really helps you look at your life in a different perspective. And I would say that it really did bring in kind of that reminder in the back of my head about what impact am I creating and how can I create a bigger, more positive impact. And so I really find that it does almost echo in my head as I think about that, what we're working on and what we're creating. My business really is mainly focused around creating books like this. So for me to be able to bring together a group of 20 women from around the world who are each sharing a different perspective on how they're creating a ripple effect. I just love seeing the impact. So we can even look at the book itself as far as a ripple effect of impact. Creating participating in a book like this, writing that one chapter, sharing your journey and your story. Now that story is helping the people that are reading it. It could change their lives and how they're approaching their own situations. And I find that participating in these books too, it opens doors that you didn't see before. So whether it's speaking opportunities, other books, participating in other projects and collaborations, those are all part of the ripple effect that come from participating in books like this.
Wow, that is so true. And tell me, did you have any challenges you might have faced while writing this piece? If you had any, do you want to share it with us?
Mm.
I know you're a pro now, but sometimes the challenges come up.
Yeah, and I think, again, for myself, it is slightly different than the rest in that is part of it being that I write the intro and my chapter. So sometimes it's hard to separate what do I want to say and have the two of them be different. Uh, I would say another part too is that, after you've done quite a few different books and chapters, so this will be my 15th
Wow.
book that comes out. I'm sorry. And so I would say every time you do write one and you kind of, look at things in a different way and choose different words, and it really is like peeling back more layers of that onion of, okay, what's underneath that? And but I would say for me, part of it is also that feeling almost responsible for everybody else's experience as well, because I am bringing them together and supporting them through this whole process. So yeah, so I would definitely say for myself, there's a lot of different layers to it and ripples to it
Yeah,
than the
for
rest.
sure. Yeah, definitely. And I remember when I did my first one with Action Takers Publishing, I was like, oh, yeah, I was like a deer in the headlights, to be honest. I'm like, I didn't know what to expect. But once I started, it was really, really amazing how easy it all just flowed. And I'm not a writer by all means. Um, as a naturally. But for me, it was more about sharing my story and inspiring people. And along the way, yeah, maybe I learned some new English words or whatever, right? But then when the next book came around, which I didn't expect myself to be in a second collaboration book. But the next time I came around to it, I was like, how can I make this chapter more efficient, more upbeat, more interesting? So I kind of grew from one to the next one. And then by the third one, this is my third one with you and the team, I was like, I really want to make this even better than the last one. So it kind of pushes you also to find new words, expand your vocabulary, and at the same time, you're inspiring people by sharing yet another story. Like I have so many stories I could tell. I can write another 20 books or so. But but I find that yeah, with each story, I want to improve myself too. So it's lots of benefits, you could say, right?
Exactly. Yes.
So tell me, can you share a story from your experience that had a significant impact on someone's life? I'm sure you had many,
Hmm.
but can you share at least one with us?
All right. Well, I guess I'll share one of the experiences from a woman that was in my first book that I did, as my first curator experience. And that book was called Embrace Courage. So that one actually included men and women from around the world, each sharing their own experience and how they have embraced courage in their life. And one of the women, she had spent most of her life feeling like she didn't fit in, she didn't belong. She's very spiritual, very wise in so many different ways. She studies, all kinds of crystals and angels and dragons and just many dimensions of just kind of understanding the energy of our world. And she'd always just felt like, well, no one wants to hear what I have to say, or who would want to read my poems or my story. And so she had never published before. She'd never put anything out of all the work she'd been doing. And so she was in that book and shared her story of her life and what she was up to and been through. And she really just discovered that so many people did want to hear her story. And within that year, she went on to be in one of my another book with me that was Midlife Awakening. And then she actually went on to finish her solo book. So
Wow.
in 1 year, she went from feeling that nobody wanted to read or hear about what she had to say. From that point, by the end of the year, she was a 3-time #1 international bestseller with 2 anthologies and her solo book all released.
Wow, that is amazing. I love that. Yeah, she was in the midlife that I also did with you guys. So,
Yes, yes.
um, yeah, that's amazing. So, with that said, what advice would you give someone who would like to write something and create a meaningful impact? What one
Mhm.
advice would you give them?
Well, quite often I do have people when we talk about participating in a book, and a lot of people do say, oh, nobody wants to hear what I've got to say, my life isn't that exciting, and they don't feel like they've got a story that will really impact the reader. And the more we get talking about it, and the more I can really help them peel that back and say, okay, you know what, you've been through this and this and this. By sharing that, now you are helping other people who are going through similar things to be more courageous, to take on life in a different way. And so I would say never doubt that your story can help somebody else, and just use your voice, get it out there. And yes, we've always got more books on the go, and are always looking for people that are interested in jumping in.
That's right. And you never know who you're gonna impact there by sharing your story, right? Like
Yeah.
I felt that way too for some time. I'm like, well, I mean I have lots of stories, but at the same time I'm like, English is not my first language, and I'm like, is it gonna sound this and that? And I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're pouring out your heart. You're speaking you're being authentic. That's gotta stand for something too, And sure enough, I got the courage to like, yeah, why not? Let's do it. And that's why we have, the editors on the team and AI nowadays. So yeah, like I'm over that part where English is my second language. Just go out there, do it, get it done, and see who you can inspire, through sharing your stories. So I think that's more
Exactly. Yeah.
important than anything. So, do you have any daily practices or routines that help you stay focused and motivated,
Mhm.
especially in the business you're doing?
I would say some of my daily practices would really include things like just having certain phrases or mantras that I like to kind of go through things in my head, especially when I'm walking my dog in the morning. That the sun is coming up and there's that quiet, fresh air, and just to be able to go through things, reminding myself of what I'm up to, who I'm helping, why it's important, and really kind of re-emphasizing in my own mind, because I think it is really common for most of us, I would say, that we do doubt ourselves and our impact, and and so the more we can reinforce that and have people around us reinforce that, yes, there's value in what we're doing, there's so many people that we're helping with what we're doing. To me, that really helps me get focused on the day and reminds me of the value of what I'm doing.
Wow, that's beautiful. I love that. And I think it is important every day to kind of remind ourselves what we do, what's the purpose in it and who's it going to help and serve, right?
Yeah.
Are there any, and I know there are, upcoming projects or books you're working on that you'd like to share with your listeners today?
Sure. Well, a few of the ones that we've got going on right now. So I'm bringing people in. I'm hoping to have them filled in the next couple weeks. One is called Passion, Purpose, and Possibilities. Another one is called Midlife Reimagined.
Oh, I like
And
that.
that's really to help people kind of that are taking on big changes later in life. And the other one is actually focused on grief. So I've called that 20 Shades of Grief. And so we're really, focusing on the idea that grief isn't just about losing a person. It's many things in life. And also we're having experts in the field of grief sharing tools, tips, strategies, how do we live with and through grief in our life. So those are the main three that I've got right now bringing people into. So anyone who's interested, I would love to chat with them, jump on a Zoom and learn more about them.
Exactly. And we'll share all the information in the video. We'll have a bio included, all the contact links to get in touch with Cathy and myself, and we're there for you. And tell me, Cathy, how do you personally define success, and has that definition evolved over time?
Oh, definitely. And I would say, when we're growing up in our culture, we're really kind of pushed into believing that success is about money and stuff and getting the house and the car and the job and all of those things. And definitely as life goes on, I've learned that really success is about feeling that you're doing something that's really contributing to the world in a positive way. And to me, that's what success is, just that knowing that what I'm doing is significant.
That is so beautiful. I absolutely love that. And we have this book, The Ripple Effect of Impact, to show that we can all make a difference in this world, right?
Yes.
One step at a time, and so many things I want to say, but we would be here for a long time. Our podcast is called Rise and Thrive Mornings with Intention. What does this title evoke for you, and how do you see the importance of starting the day with intention? I know you talked about it a little bit. Anything else you'd like to add to that, please?
I would really mainly emphasize the importance of that and emphasize how your energy in the morning, what you're thinking about in the morning really does go through the day. And so if you're starting your day tired and grumpy and stressed out, then you probably will stay that way all day. Whereas if you can do things, whether it's affirmations and mantras or activities that get you into an energized, positive state in the morning, that will really have that ripple effect of impact throughout the day.
Exactly. That's beautiful. And there's so many different things we can do each and every day, but mornings, if we set the right intention, I think it will make a day not only better for us, but everybody around us, right?
Definitely.
You can go out there and somebody can make you upset, and we can definitely choose what we're gonna do in that moment too. And if we want to continue being the positive ripple, sometimes you gotta let things go, bless it and release it. We use that a lot in our coaching, and so many other wonderful things. Cathy, thank you so much for being here with us on this beautiful podcast. Once again, The Ripple Effect of Impact is coming out August 20th. So subscribe to our channel so you don't miss anything. And any other words of advice you'd like to add before we wrap it up here?
I'll just throw in one of my favorite quotes, and it's from Howard Thurman, and it's don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive, and go do that. Because what the world needs is more people who have come alive. And to me, that every time I kind of reflect back on that quote, it reminds me that yes, finding that spark in our life is the key to being successful, happy, fulfilled in our life.
And on that note, we're gonna say goodbye. Thank you so much for watching us today, and I hope you have a beautiful day. We are here for you, so reach out anytime, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you, Cathy, and thank you to our listeners. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you.